Hello, folks. This is a general response to a fellow called Irager? iRoger? Anyway, Pilgrim, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate everyone. And thank you for commenting. Now, I have said before that I like big comments, long, detailed comments, when people talk in detail about things they feel very strongly about. But the comments you've left are too long for me to respond to in the way that I would like to. That is, by reading through the entire comment and responding to it in some detail. I'm not saying don't leave such long comments, but when you leave such long comments, I need to pick out the things that I think are important to respond to. And thank you for the suggestions. I appreciate all the feedback I get. I have said many times that I am a writer, I'm an editor, grammar and punctuation are what I do. And sometimes I cannot help but comment on the bad grammar and punctuation that I see. I have said many times that this is not a personal attack on the character or the argument of the person I'm responding to. It's a personal foible that sometimes I can't help. I have said many times that I am sorry for it, and I've just tried to get on with what I have to say as quickly as possible. Sometimes I haven't apologized. Sometimes I just try to get past it and get on with things. I've said that many times. I will roll my eyes at people. I will. When I've heard the same baseless assertion for 3 or 4 times from 3 or 4 different people, sometimes I'll roll my eyes. When someone gets a basic fact wrong, sometimes I'll roll my eyes. And I give everyone as much respect as I feel they are due. I am incapable of giving anyone more respect than I think they deserve. Now, I give a certain amount of respect to everybody, just because people are people, and a person does deserve some respect. What people say and what people do can earn people more respect, or earn people less respect. Now, on to the rest of your comment. So we are in agreement that people in government have an enormous amount of power to fuck up people's lives. But, okay, a business corporation, if you're not doing business with them, as a general rule, cannot fuck up your life. There are rare exceptions. People in government can fuck up your life to no end. Okay? People in government, elected and unelected officials, have done really awful things throughout our history. Okay? They've had people drafted, put on FBI watch lists, investigated by the IRS, thrown in prison on bogus charges, rezoned their property so they had to leave their homes. Now, what can a businessman do any of those things? No. A businessman cannot do any of those things at all. Now, there have been businessmen who are rich and powerful and have used their money and power to have those things done by using corrupt politicians. So, if you have a businessman who wants to fuck up people's lives, and you have a corrupt government, a government with corrupt people in it, you've got a huge problem. If you have a businessman who's just an honest businessman, wants to do his thing, lets other people do their thing, and you have a corrupt government, your problem is just as big. In fact, it is exactly the same problem. So you assert that voters have more control over the government than we do over business corporations. That's a somewhat debatable point, because there are a lot of corporations that are controlled an enormous amount by wallet voters, let us say. There are some that are less controlled by wallet voters. Then again, there are some governments that are less controlled by actual voters than some other governments. But let us suppose for a moment that your assertion is correct, that voters have more control over the government than we do over any business. So what? What's the problem? What are you complaining about? Of course we have more control over the government. That's right and proper. The government has more control over us. The government has more power over us. Businesses, as a general rule, have very little power over us. And even when a business when we're doing business with a business, as a general rule, there are other businesses we could be doing business with. There's only one United States government. They have something of a monopoly. Now, you talk about how businesses have fucked up people's lives, and you mention the subprime mortgage crisis. And yes, I rolled my eyes at you. Because the subprime mortgage crisis was caused by the government. The government acted to force banks to lend money to people who were incapable of repaying those loans. That's a problem. That's not good. That caused a big problem. Now, if you think for a moment that forcing banks to lend money to people who are incapable of paying back those loans, if you think that is a good thing, then you're crazy. If you don't think that, then you are not crazy. See what I did there? I did not call you crazy. I said, this is what happened. And if you think this was a good thing that happened, then you're crazy. If you don't think that was a good thing that happened, then you're not crazy. So, my final point. A government can be corrupt. A government can be corrupted by businesses. A government can be corrupt all on its own. Okay? There's a reason why Chester A. Arthur was so popular when he left office. Okay, the U.S. government was corrupt to a huge extent, a huge degree, and it was not corrupted by businesses. The U.S. government was corrupt because it was filled with corrupt people. Because the government itself, the system, was corrupt, was corrupted. And so Chester A. Arthur acted to clean up corruption. So that's what we need. We need people to clean up corruption in government. As long as the government is corrupt, we cannot deal with corrupt businesses. Okay? Let's suppose for a moment you are absolutely correct. The problem is businesses that are corrupting government. Okay? Let's deal with it in the order it needs to be dealt with. Okay? We need to take steps. We need to deal with the corruption in government first. That's the big problem. That is the stumbling block to dealing with the rest of the problem. So that's all I got to say. Thank you for commenting once again, and thank you everyone for watching. Everyone watching, please comment below with anything you have to say about this, anything you think. Please leave as long comments as you want, be as detailed as you want, and remember, I will respond as honestly as I will respond, and I will give you all the respect that I can give you. Thank you for watching, everyone. I think I said that already. Have a good day, and God bless.